Greetings, YouTube. You have warped your way back into the WGS Arcade. We're back in more Boob Tenshi 2, and on the last episode, Rose and Kyo nearly had their way with Kenji, and they keep saying that that's a bad thing? I don't get it, but they also discussed a little bit about Bunny and Mizuki's situation and everything like that, and Tessa's eager to go through the time window so that way she can finally hear Michelle. So this was the last line in the last episode, so let's get started. So, Kin, got any plans on how you're gonna spend your downtime? I don't know. I'm not sleepy or hungry or anything yet. I hear that. Hey, I have an idea. Whenever life turns into dog do on me, I always hit the gym. And I could use a spotter. And to be honest, I need to spend some time talking about all the shit crazy we just saw before my brain breaks. So how about it? Care to spot for me? Well, okay, but what's a spotter? A spotter is kind of like an assistant for when you're working out. Basically, I'm going to be pumping some iron. I could use someone there to help me keep an eye on things and make sure I don't wind up breaking anything in the process. So would you mind helping me out on that? Like I said, doing voices hurts. No, that doesn't sound too hard, so okay. Great, I'll meet you at the gym in 5. With that, Tessa darted out, leaving me to myself. Without any better ideas, I made my way towards the gym and proceeded to wait. And in the empty silence of the gym, a lot more confusion and concern floated up into my thoughts. There was only one thing I couldn't escape, the fact that Bunny and Mizuki were up to something. Something that seemed bigger than their previous endeavors. And with the range of their time window extended so that they could go back thousands of years into the past, there was no telling what would happen next. This is making my brain hurt. Join the throng, kid. Taking note of Tessa's voice, I turned to see her standing behind me. So, tell me something, kid. You work out? You look to be in good shape. Well, I do jogging mostly. Though sometimes I hit the gym at school, and I like to do a lot of outdoor stuff. I'll bet. Anyway, let's get to work. I'm gonna need to pump a whole lot of iron to bust this funk. With that, Tessa made her way over to the changing room. A few moments later, she emerged wearing a t-shirt and very short shorts. She also wore a headband and wristbands, and she had socks and sneakers on. She went over to a weight bench and prepped a barbell, as well as going over what she needed me to do as her spotter. God damn. Okay, they would have to throw in a panty shot, wouldn't they? They would have to throw in a sneak panty shot, and they did. And for the next several minutes, that's exactly what I did. Just watch Tessa work out and be ready to help in case something ran awry. I watched and listened as she grunted with the effort as her chest heaved with every exertion and every breath she took. It wasn't long before perspiration began to roll down her entire body, with several rivulets descending into the crevice of her cleavage. Man, they really broke out the thesaurus on this one. Fortunately, Tessa was too focused on her workout to notice my eyes wandering around. As she went through her workout, paused only for a sip of her water bottle between working sets, I found myself curious about her. So, Tessa, would you mind me asking you a few questions? Of course not. Go ahead and shoot. Well, if you don't mind, I was kind of wondering, why exactly don't you like being called cute? As soon as I said this, Tessa paused in mid-repetition and shot me a dirty look, but then she sighed and continued her workout. I guess that's a fair question, given that most folks won't mind being called cute. Let's fire up the imaginary time window for a trip down memory lane. More specifically, when I was a little girl living with my mother, whom my father had been wise enough to divorce. Too bad, he wasn't able to get custody of me instead of the old bag. Well, so you didn't get along with your mother? And we have another contender for the title of Understatement of the Century. Anyway, my mother had basically mapped out my entire future for me, was ready and willing to do whatever she felt she had to make sure that I grew up in exactly the way she wanted me to. And one of the big goals she had in store for me was making sure that I became a cheerleader. Wait, Rose, she mentioned that you used to be a cheerleader. Yeah, I bet she did, and Tensei let that little detail drop when he was introducing me to the others. And brother, do I wish he hadn't, because it was dear old Maudie that forced me to become a cheerleader in the first place. Seriously, you want to know what my sweet sixth birthday present was? A stinking cheerleader outfit. I got gymnastic lessons, lectures on how to be graceful and cute, and that sort of crud. Well, gymnastics I enjoyed, but not the rest of it. She was going out of her way to make sure that I made the team years before I was even ready for high school. Really? That's weird. I mean, I can see a mother wanting her daughter to be an actress or a doctor or something like that, but a cheerleader? Hey, common sense and my mother weren't exactly good bedfellows. All I know is that cheerleading was one of the big things she had on her brain, and she wanted to make sure that I made the team. I mean, before I even started my freshman year at high school, she tried to talk me into getting a boob job so I would stand out more and had a better shot at it. And this, I couldn't help but glance down at the assets in question. Tessa's workout clothes were clinging tightly to her frame with perspiration. And though I didn't consider myself an expert on such things, her breasts certainly seemed generously proportioned to me. I guess you said no, but what does this all have to do with you, with why you don't like being called cute? Well, at first I didn't mind it at all. Back in my younger years, cute was the thing to be. But as I started growing up, I noticed a few things. First of all, I realized I was the only one who was still being called cute, and more I noticed the way people started calling me that. Like it was a stealth insult of some kind. Then I started thinking it over and realized the kinds of thing people call cute. Babies, they're called cute. Baby animals, they're cute too. Stuffed animals, some toys, cute and cute. In other words, people and animals were too small and weak to be able to take care of themselves. They were cute. And toys and possessions, they were cute. And when I realized, I also realized what my mother had been doing. All those years she'd been treating me like her own living doll to do with as she wanted, not a person with her own mind. When I realized that, I got really mad. And from then on, if you wanted to get me royally ticked off, then calling me cute was the way to go. I see. What about all your clothes? No offense, but what you were wearing earlier wasn't exactly hardcore, believe me. I'm well aware of that, Ken. And when Tenshi gave me my career job, as well as the chance to work on my degree, the very first thing I wanted to do was check out my entire wardrobe and get about as far south of cute as I possibly could. But your grandfather, he talked me out of it. Oh, how do you do that? Partly by using some solid logic. Replacing my entire wardrobe would cost me plenty of money. And though he paid me decently for running that warehouse he had set up, I also had college and other expenses to deal with, so blowing all that money like that, wouldn't be very smart. Also, this is really embarrassing, so don't go spreading around, okay? I spent so many years doing up my hair like this and dressing this way, and it's become like a bad habit. Really. For real. A lot of the time when I first wake up, I'll be on autopilot, only to be having breakfast and just realize that I had these ribbons in my hair. And I've also figured out something else about me. Something really important. And that is that if I never see another pom-pom again for the rest of my life, it will be too soon. Phew, that was a good sweat. And this, Tessa hefted the weights she had been lifting. Again, it hurts the voice. And returned them to the storage rack before heading back to the changing room. And a while later, she emerged again. Ken, if you ever in need of a gym buddy of your own, you know where to look. I could even draw up a serious exercise plan for you. Thanks, I might take you up on that. Cool. Anywho, I'm gonna go grab a protein shake and get some downtime. Maybe you should get some rest as well. I get the feeling we're gonna get busy really soon. And by that, I don't mean the fun kind of getting busy. So I figured. Anyway, I'll see you later then. Nodding to this, Tessa then took off down the hall, leaving me to go do what was my bedroom. I didn't feel comfortable taking off on everyone, not with what was happening right now. Yes, when I got there, I flopped down onto my bed, sighed, and tried to clear my head enough to think. But I couldn't. I just lay there, staring up at the ceiling with images of the crazy events of the day dancing through my thoughts. So much had obviously changed when time itself had been rewritten, and I had a feeling that it had not been for the better. Just then a soft knocking sounded at my door, so soft that I doubt I would have noticed if I had been any closer to sleep. But before we find out who's at the door, guys and gals, we're going to go ahead and call it an episode. When we come back to the arcade, we're going to see who's waiting for us on the other side. So with that being said, I'm your friendly neighborhood WrestleGamer, and I will see you at the next warp zone. Bye, guys!
Isn't he on his side? No, he was on his side. Why did the cheese in the back?
Yep, and to which I responded,